podcast tonight. Okay. But tonight's election night in America, and we're basically going to be talking about it tonight. We're going to be talking about the election of Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. Winner takes all. And we'll be talking about this. And so, thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, and make sure that you take them on in. Here we go. Winner take all tonight is election night in America, and I'm here live in Georgia. Welcome, everyone. Subscribe. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is tonight. The polls have closed, and that Georgia basically will go for Donald Trump. Okay, and remember, black men, we said that there was no tangibles on the table. And we didn't go out and support Harris. Okay. And she admitted that when she met with Governor Wimper, he said his name. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me tonight here on the Lorison Podcast Show. And tonight is a very special night because it's election night. And as I was coming on, I was looking at all of the pollings as to who is winning. So far, Donald Trump is winning. But of course, it can change because, the Democrats have a history of cheating. They cheated, in the 2020 election, I still believe. But I'm very optimistic that because, black men stayed at home because we did not get out to vote, that Kamala Harris may lose, okay? And I think she may lose basically, they said by a landslide, but hey, whites and Hispanics are evenly divided in this country. So black people are the determining factor, okay? And and also not only that is that you also have black women who at this point has also went over to support Donald Trump, or they actually stayed home. For the very first time, black women are now listening to their men and say, hey, we're going to stay home because there's no tangible benefits on the table. And so the only way that, as CNN has basically pointed out, the only way that Kamala Harris wins is either she cheat or some miracle happen, okay? The woman is not winning, okay? She did not win Georgia. Of course, I just said that. She basically, she did not, they did Biden won Georgia, of course, in 2020, right? So we are basically down to the last wire. We're down to the last wire in this election night. They claim that we will have a clear winner tomorrow. The so-called first Indian, the first Jamaican or black woman to be president may basically be kind of interesting for a lot of people. But you have to understand this history of this woman's background, okay? She was born in Canada, and there's also some questions about her origin, just like it was when Obama was running, okay? Because these white folks do not like a born national black people to run the country because they know and we know the history of the country. Okay, which is the reason why they want us to run and be president, right? That they have to get somebody outside of the nation. But we in the black media is warning you if Kamala Harris loses, don't say that, yeah, it was because of the war in Gaza, or it was because of the war in Gaza, Arab Americans are not voting, and Jews is to basically dictate the American election like black people do. Okay. And like I told you earlier, I'm sorry, whites and Hispanics are evenly divided. You got some Hispanics there are supporting Kamala Harris, of course, and after the actually the joke at the Republican rally, the Puerto Ricans and the Latinos and Hispanics, some of them are moving towards Kamala Harris, right? And it's still going to be evenly divided. And so there's also, people who are, Latinos and Hispanics who vote for Donald Trump. So they often vote Republican as well. So they are evenly divided. The person who often break these ties are black people, because black people are heavily for the Democrats. But if they even get a slide of black people, typically is how it works. I don't know what this is going to be the outcome of. It shows that Trump's winning now. But typically, if Republicans like George Bush did in 2004, if they get black people to come on board into the vote, they can basically win the presidency. Is what I'm saying about the Republicans. And it does look like Donald Trump basically is looking good to be, to be the next president here so far. Okay, like I said, anything can change here. I want to thank you for joining me today here on the Lordson Podcast Show, but we're going to be talking about why black men stayed home. You see, I was inundated with a lot of, text messages, mail leaflets, and I was inundated with text message, hey, get out to vote. This is this person. This is this person. Get out to vote. Those people tell them to go and vote, 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 right? And there was no enthusiasm. And I text these people and call them back, and I said, what the hell is Kamala Harris and Donald Trump doing for black folk? That was my number one question for all of them. Okay? If we're not on the ballot, then we vote for a third party. And I'm not talking about Jill Stein or Dr. Cornel West. No, I'm talking about the couch. Okay? The couch has the popular vote, in my opinion. Why? Because both candidates, all three, or whatever you want to call it, the Green Party or the Cornel West, whatever his party is, along with the two candidates, Republican or Democrats, you got to have something on the ballot for black people because we built the country. Okay? All of these other people, even the ones who are over here legally, they basically cut in line and they can go back to their own country. Okay, as one sister pointed out, in an interview, she, as a woman who grew up in the Jim Crow era, she can't go back to her country. Why? Because America is her country. You see? And so that woman was very profound in saying this. And to bring all of these illegal immigrants over here to try to basically undermine the black population shows you what the Democrats really care about us. Trump basically is talking about this mass deportation. Okay, I'm all for it. Why? Because you can't bring another people to cut in front of line of people who not only built this country, but who are Americans and who have been paying taxes, as opposed to people who came over here yesterday and ain't paid a damn thing. And this is the reason why it appears there is a red wave. It seems like whoever wins, of course, is going to get a Republican House. They might get a Republican Senate as well. Why? Because we have stayed home. Black men had told these Democrats, listen, hey, if there is no tangible benefits for Black people, we're staying home. And if this Kamala Harris win, of course, it's going to be Black women going to jail. This is why they want her in office. It's one of the reasons. So you're going to have an increase of Black people in jail, but specifically, they want to put Black women in jail. And so this Black women is the reason why Black men are saying, hell no, we got your back, even though y'all don't have ours sometimes, a lot of times. This woman, if she gets in office, she's going to increase, as like she did in California, the amount of Black women going to prison. That's her job. Because she's basically going to say, well, you know, I can go after these women. Now I'm the first woman president. I can show these men, you know, that I can handle these women by throwing them in jail. And we basically are on your side, Black women. We're saying, no, we're not going to let her do that. Okay. Which is why we did basically what she did in California. Go back, Black women, if you're voting for Kamala Harris, go and look at all of the interviews of Black women who she put in jail for truancy and their kids not going to school. This woman here is very dangerous. And then not only that, she up here laying up with some white man. Okay, if she was really a Black woman or an Indian woman, what is she telling your Black daughters? You know, what is she telling the Indian females, the young girls in the Indian community? That she had to sleep with some white man just to get ahead, or they have to sleep with some white man just to get ahead in this country or their country? It does not add up. The math is not mathing. Okay, I told you, Black men is going to decide this election here. So far, Trump is winning, but that can change, right? It can change. Okay. According to CNN, like I said earlier, Kamala Harris can somehow pull up a victory. And as I was coming on, I was telling y'all about there in Pennsylvania that hell, they already found that the Democrats were trying to cheat. They're in Bucks County. If you go look at the article, they found out that they had a lot of people been turned away until Trump went down there and sued them, and a federal judge ruled in his favor. The Democrats, it appears, basically was trying to stop a lot of people from voting, early voting, where he made the mistake in 2020 to not basically do early voting. But so he learned from that mistake last time. So this time he said, yeah, I'm going to do early voting. And so down there in Bucks County, they were down there turning people away. You know what I'm saying? And most of those people, I think, were Republicans trying to cheat. And that's what the Democrats are about, cheating. You know, the Democrats cheated in 2020 and they're trying to cheat again, right? And you can't win without the Black vote. So I'm thinking that because a lot of Black people stayed home, I'm talking about Black men, and some Black women did stay home too, I'm thinking that she doesn't have enough electoral votes. If the math is mathing up correct, I could be wrong, okay? Because we know how politics are, you know. They can lie and say, yeah, she won Wyoming. This is the first battleground state. It has not flipped in such and such years. You know how they do, okay? So we saw this game played before. Florida basically has been announced that they will vote Republican. Okay, so Trump is doing good in those key states where he got an edge on her. But I just can't see Kamala Harris. And you want to talk about her being a president? I mean, just look at her history. She basically don't have the, everybody knows she's a puppet, just like all presidents are. But this woman be cackling over some stupid stuff, you know. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? Oh, yeah. This woman is crazy, okay? I mean, just imagine her going to world leaders and talking about negotiations. She's gonna be in there just laughing and cackling. You think that we're going to pay Russia some more money just to kill more Ukrainians? This woman is foolish, you know? And so we cannot allow nobody who's a dinky, take over the presidency. If you want a woman to be president, that's fine, but who can you get that is going to be very reliable, who's going to be very, very clear on what to do and talk about the policies? We didn't get any kind of policies from Kamala Harris. You basically, every time you asked her a question, I grew up in a middle class family, okay? And let me be very clear. I mean, like, just answer the question. You see, I mean, this woman can't even answer simple questions. And they'd be like, hey, Kamala, what you going to do about the closing of the border? Well, Donald Trump, okay, he started the problem, right? And let's be very clear. That's her favorite phrase. Let's be very clear. Okay. I said, this woman is a damn dinky, Here's the thing. When you basically try to, tell people your policy, right? You got to be able to unpack what you're going to do. If you name a policy, unpack what that policy is going to be about, how it's going to benefit. And then you have to also be able to tell the American voter as to how much the policy will cost the American voter, because typically the Democrats is going to raise taxes if they have to pay for a certain thing, okay? All right, I've managed and been a part of a lot of campaigns in Oklahoma and Georgia, so I know this, right? Now, the white media was out there already talking about it's a toss-up election. And of course, they got to basically play that game. But the American voter is saying that they want Donald Trump over Kamala Harris when it comes to the economy, when it comes to talking about how they're going to pay for their kids' college education, pay for food and groceries. Everything is up under this woman. And Jim Crow Joe. And they don't toss Jim Crow Joe's ass over there. He's talking in circles. They even said that him and Nancy Pelosi is not talking right now. Then he came out with some random stuff. The Republicans are the type of people you just want to smack an ass. Like, what's going on with this man? Oh, man, this man out here acting a fool. He must know something. He must know that they're going to lose. He's just talking all kinds of crap out of here. He don't care because he finna go and rest at the nursing home at some point. And so here's the thing. I told you about this Alan Lippman, right? And his 13 keys. Now remember, if Kamala Harris loses, then Alan Lippman is going to say two things. He's going to say, well, remember, he's going to say three things. Oh, remember, I told you that, everybody had to get out and vote, and just found out that Alan Lippman, when he was projecting these 13 keys, remember, he's a liberal. He's a Democrat. So that's why he's projecting Kamala Harris to win. But also, a problem with this Alan Lippman is that he basically is thinking the same way as when Obama was running. Okay, there's not the same energy among Black people when Obama was running versus Kamala Harris. As I said earlier, Kamala had basically admitted to the governor, I think of Michigan, Granger, whatever, however you say this woman's name, that he is having problems with the male vote. He recognized that men are just not fooling with Kamala Harris. They're just not, okay? She doesn't represent, her and Tim Walsh don't represent a party at all. They represent a clown show from Saturday Night Live. That's all she's been at. That's who they represent. You have two clowns trying to run a country. Every other foreign leader, you know what I'm saying, is about business. Chinese president Xi, he's about business. Putin and Russia is about business, right? North Korea over there just flying rockets everywhere. Okay. Kim Jong Un is about business. Okay. You can't have Kamala going over there laughing and stuff. Oh, North Korea, y'all talking about bombing somebody over there? See, we can't have that type of stuff, you know. That's going to be dangerous, you know, and basically it's going to set us back because now, because under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, they have been so bad on the economy. Uh, I told you, if you go back and look at my video on the economic and the decline of America, you see a lot of corporations basically going out of business because they not only cannot hire, they cannot basically, you know, stay in business. And a lot of people say, oh, this is an inflation. This is an inflation. No, it's not an inflation. It's actually a deflation. Inflation is when there's a lot of money in the economy and there's jobs everywhere. That's an inflation. A deflation is when you cannot maintain companies and corporations, right? And so they go out of business, which is why you need to basically put money into the business sector, right? And so the Electoral College, which basically I don't like, but yeah, because you already know that the American people don't pick their president, right? The Electoral College does, right? So it can be that Kamala Harris end up with the popular vote and loses the the presidency, right? Now, I've been telling you not only that Kamala Harris has a problem with attracting men, it is not only because she is a fraud, right? It's because nobody know what she's about. They didn't know her policies. So if she loses this election, okay, it was about because nobody really knew her policies, right? And go ahead and cry off the stage like Hillary Clinton did in 2016 when Donald Trump beat the hell out of her then. And we still believe that he won the 2020 election. We believe that Jim Crow Joe stole the election from him. Okay. Nobody was voting for Joe Biden's ass like that. They were basically putting piles and piles of mail-in ballots inside the mailbox, and people were voting 3 or 4 times, which I believe is what got those points for Joe Biden. Okay. But nobody was out there like that man for like that. You know what I'm saying? We also know his history too. We know that he basically signed bills putting black men in jail called the Biden crime bill. Okay. We know that him and Bill Clinton signed that in law. We know basically he said that he didn't want his blue-eyed, blonde-haired child going to school with your black children. We know that he basically said a lot of things that was reprehensible. Okay, we know the history of this man. Okay, and then on top of that, he picked Kamala Harris, who have the same kind of ideology, okay, that he has, and that is to put more black folks in jail and to basically deny them equal protection under the law. And that's exactly this woman's record in California. Okay. And she go laughing about putting black women, black parents in jail. She was laughing about that. Okay. A lot of people don't know the history of this woman. Okay. And so these black celebrities need to shut the hell up. You know, nobody's listening to Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey and D.L. Hughley and Steve Harvey. Nobody's listening to these fools. Celebrities basically need to shut up. They are part of the problem. They are the reason why a lot of black men specifically is leaving the Democratic Party. Okay. Because for these black celebrities, they're all about themselves. They're trying to get some type of press for themselves, and they're not worried about the black person who basically has spent money on their little concerts or purchased their movie or watched their TV show, they are listening to the music. They're not understanding, you see, and this is the reason why I basically talk like this, is because as a filmmaker, if you're going to make a movie, for instance, right, the people who are going to watch your movie need money. Okay, you cannot just be by yourself and expect people to pay for something when if they are basically broke. So this is the situation now. A lot of people will support you if they got money in their pocket, as opposed if they're broke. In fact, they're going to start getting upset and get jealous of you if they're broke, which is why the white folks like to keep us without money. Okay. Now, here's the thing, though. When you basically have an economy, okay, an economic sector, you see that the economy does when the economy does bad, crime decreases, right? And this is basically, everybody knows that this is the facts, right? Which is why when Democrats and Republicans, both of them are on the same level when it comes to keeping us both in when it comes to keeping Black people, excuse me, in a segmented labor market, as I often try to say on this channel, try to beat it home to you. If there's not a good economy, then you're going to see an increase of crime. Okay. And these white folks know this. This is the reason why they over police our neighborhoods. And a lot of you Black people have moved out of the neighborhoods and you're struggling in the suburban areas. And those white folks are saying, well, crime is increasing in suburban areas. How did this nigger, how did he afford to live here in the first place? No. You got to understand certain types of crimes, depending on your economic system, is how all that works, right? Okay. You can have a Black person engage in crime who can be poor and he go rob somebody at Domino's. But then you have white men who also engage in crime, but instead of hitting somebody on the head, he is basically what? Stealing money from somebody's corporation. Very different type of crime based up on the level of how they are and what access that they got to steal whatever they want to steal, you see. And this is the difference here, okay? And so the reason why we're sick and tired of the Democrats lying is because a lot of us, as we know, during the Jim Crow era, that we had our own businesses. And now your children is waking up to this. They're saying jobs are a joke. They're all on TikTok. They're all on social media. And they're saying this. They're talking like this. And even in the schools, I know this, right? And so basically, if your children know that, they know that these damn parents of theirs are foolish. Even though that they still love their mom and dad, they know that they're foolish listening to these white folks claiming that there's going to be a job after they graduate from college. Okay. These kids are not stupid. They see the high debt that their older sister and brother took on and is in debt and can't even pay off a house, a car, and all that. And they see that the American dream is dead. And then they're looking at this and then looking at you're bringing now illegal immigrants and just handing them out money that they're not entitled to. Okay. And then expect us to suck it up and say, just deal with it, blah, 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 blah. Oh, hell no. My ancestors built the nation. They can get on an airplane, boot their asses back to their own country and fix their country. This is the country my ancestors built. You son of a bitch, you give me the money. You understand? And then you have all these, I don't know what you want a handout for. I told you. These white folks have to get handouts all the time in Congress. They get handouts all the time at the state capitol. And so every time a Black person comes there, oh, you Black folks, you always want handouts, blah, 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 blah. No. We built the country, right? Okay. And like I told the administration at the Small Business Administrator, I said, wait, why do y'all have a Hispanic small business? Why do y'all have an Asian small business loan or grant and there's not a black person? What the hell is a minority? Okay. You folks are going to be basically a minority in the next 20 years. You know, you can't basically be putting loans and grants on labels. If we can't get a loan grant in our name, these other groups shouldn't have one either, you see. So black men, we got so frustrated going back to the election here. Let me stay on topic. So black men, we got so frustrated that even, you know, like I said, and I don't basically watch and agree with Fox News, but there was a black man on there and he told the white host, he said, listen, he said, black people want wealth. We want generational wealth. Okay, we can't do it because there are systems standing in our way. And he was right about that, right? And so here come another group of people that these Democrats is bringing in. And when, like I said in my other video, when Obama signed DACA, we knew that they were going to bring an influx of more immigrants over here. And so what we said to these politicians, but specifically the Democrat, we said, we're going to stay home if you keep giving these illegal immigrants our reparations money. We said that we're not going to vote for you if they're coming into our communities. We said we're not going to support Kamala Harris because she's a part of the Democratic Party and she's a part of the problem with Jim Crow Joe. And we said as black men, if you do this and do not basically, even though we don't need a reparation commission, but if you don't set that up, we're not going to go out and vote for you next time. Okay? These white folks now understand that we basically are about business. We're not going to basically go out like the old civil rights generation and their eldest children. So you got, you know, black people in the civil rights generation's eldest children. These are people who, you know, when the civil rights generation went to the park, they was there too. They went to the park with the old civil rights generation. And then they start lying, talking about they marched with Dr. King and all this old stuff. And so now the civil rights generation's eldest children thought that they would be able to manipulate us to go out and vote for nothing. They could not be more wrong, okay? The black child is realizing, hey, he needs tangible benefits because voting is a transactional situation. You don't just vote for tradition. You don't vote because somebody's black or white or whatever. You vote for policy. You vote for an economic relationship with your government. And if you can't get that, you can vote the couch. And that's exactly what I did today. Oh yeah, I was inundated with all kinds of text message. Did you vote? Did you vote? Go out and vote. And all this mail from the Republican and Democratic Party. Because of course, I used to go and hang out with these people. Yeah, I want this person to win. I want that person to win. Yeah, let's go out and vote here. And I said, wait a minute. I said, why are y'all calling us people of color? Okay, black people are not no people of color. We built the country. We need a specific policy for us, just like everybody else. Okay, we're not going to be falling for this minority stuff like, you know, like the old civil rights generation has done. Oh no. And so we said, the hell with Tyler Perry, the hell with D.L. Hughley, the hell with Obama, the hell with Oprah. We're not listening to these flunky black celebrities. Okay. We basically want a black agenda, okay? And so it appears that there is a Republican wave now because black men specifically stayed home. I told you the black man is going to be deciding this year's election, okay? Yeah, this is going to be decided. We'll be right back. It is election night tonight here in Georgia and all across the country. Polls still showing that Donald Trump has a favorable lead to win the presidency. But like I said, anything could happen. Good evening, I'm lawyer Henderson as the polls closes on the eastern, and also in other parts of the country. Basically, the Democrats and Republicans are both nervous. It's election night here. Going back to our subject, we're talking about if Kamala Harris loses, she lost because she did not have any kind of agenda for Black people. She wanted to wait at the last 2 weeks to basically say, well, we'll get Black men such and such and such and such and such. No, 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 no. And we see a Republican sweep, and not only in Senate and House of Representative, positions across the country. That's very big for the Republican Party, by the way, because Black people stayed home. We said, hey, if you're not going to give us no tangible benefits, you're in trouble. But I want to read something to basically continue our discussion today. Like, share, and subscribe. Thumbs up. Make sure you hit that like button. Okay. This article was written by the Times. It says here, and I quote, moving average of each pollster's latest results. It has been lively campaign, yet for the most of it, despite 2 assassinations attempt on Donald Trump and 2 eventful presidential TV debates, the polls were fairly static. At the end of September, Harris had a national lead of more than 3 points. However, in the past week, this has fallen to around a single point. Okay. Harris, the vice president, and her running mate, Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, initially enjoyed an upbeat start to their pitch for the White House. But while she may be more popular than Biden, popularity alone does not always win presidencies. And of course, we have basically found that out before, right? Al Gore was popular in 2000, right? But Bush still won, okay? The Republicans have not won the popular vote since 2004, okay? That's when Bush was in office, 2004. While in 2016, Hillary Clinton won more votes but lost the election. So if Harris win, they said that the 2 winners usually take it all, 2-party vote share and share the electoral college votes, won in the presidential campaign since 1940. Okay, so that means that there's a toss up. Clinton won the popular vote, but lost in 2016 election. Okay, Trump defeated her in 2016. Jim Crow Joe defeated Trump in 2020. So after Joe Biden, after Nancy Pelosi and all others tossed him out, they was trying to, along with Obama, was trying to get another person to run before Kamala Harris hurry up and try to get the electoral college votes. But she quickly swung into action. I'm gonna get him, right? So, and that's why, everybody started backing her. So because of the electoral college system in which the winner of each state takes all of its electoral votes, the results will almost certainly come down to a small group of people in 7 swing states, right? And we already know what that is because they've been talking about it on the white media, right? So swing states, if you take advantage of every statewide poll conducted in past 3 weeks, Harris is ahead in 2 of these 7, Wisconsin and Michigan, but in the Rust Belt. However, a small polling area shift of an opinion by a few thousand voters could tip them the other way, right? And this is what they were saying a few weeks ago. However, a small polling error or a shift in opinion by a few thousand voters could tip them the other way, which means that it can go to Donald Trump. They were saying this 2 or 3 days earlier. But see, the polls were going around talking about, oh, it's a tight race, it's a tight race. And it could be still, right? However, a small polling error or shift in opinion by a few thousand voters could tip them for the other way. Trump, meanwhile, appears to be ahead in Georgia and North Carolina, both with the 16 electoral votes each. Crucially, he may also be ahead in Pennsylvania, the biggest prize with 19 electoral votes. No Democrat has won the White House without winning Pennsylvania since 1948, which is why I just told you earlier they were down there trying to cheat, okay, down there in Bucks County, because Bucks County is where everything happened. CNN was talking about Georgia when they talked there about Fayette County, that it has like that area right there is also crucial here in Georgia. But like I said, Trump is going to take Georgia. So we're looking at the 7 key, swing states. Nevada gets 6. Pennsylvania is 19. Wisconsin, you get 10 electoral votes. North Carolina, you get 16 electoral votes. Michigan, you get 15 electoral votes. Georgia, you get 16 electoral votes. And then Arizona, you get 11 electoral votes. So they have Trump winning or projecting to win in Arizona and Georgia. And he might lose Michigan by margin. They got him good at North Carolina for 48%. They got him good at Wisconsin. Oh, I'm sorry, Wisconsin. They said he might be tied. And then in Pennsylvania, he also might be tied, but he might win by 5% percentage votes. Okay. And then in Nevada, of course, they got Trump at 48.3 to Harris's 47.9. So in Nevada, and that said they have that may have how it would play out. That it would come down that Pennsylvania, he may get 5 or 6 or 7% over Harris at that number in order to reach the 270 here that he need in order to win the presidency. Okay. Now, the question though was who was voting for Kamala Harris? Support for Harris follows a similar pattern to support for Biden in 2020. She is more popular among young, the college-educated, and Black voters. Yet polling conducted by Pew Research Center before and after Biden pulled out of the race suggests that Trump has not actually lost that many voters to Harris. Rather, Harris appears to have won around many of who were going back to the independent candidate Robert F. Kennedy, who had since suspended his presidential campaign and endorsed Trump. Harris poll ratings are 15 points higher than Biden among 18 to 29-year-olds and 21 points higher among Hispanic voters. However, there are some signs that Donald Trump is doing much better among Black and Hispanic voters than in 2020. See? So, they basically is saying there that they are worried, the Democrats are worried into the night that the Republicans may win this. They've already won a lot of the major seats in the House and in the Senate. And there's a small percentage of chances that Republicans will basically take over, like I said, the House and the Senate, no matter who wins the presidency here tonight. Okay? But I want to come in and say, Kamala Harris, if you lose, sister girl, it was because you didn't basically give a Black agenda. You don't have a Black agenda. And this is what you might lose about. So we'll come back on tomorrow and we'll talk about the winner here. And hopefully they will have a winner, but they're going to still have votes that they need to count in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is going to be it's going to basically take at least 4 days, 3 or 4 days to count Pennsylvania because it's where the tightest race is. And then, like I said, if either candidate lose, I wouldn't be surprised if they ask for a recount, like they always do when they basically lose. And then that Jewish husband of Kamala Harris, he basically he wants to be in the White House so bad. And so it comes on down to whether or not if this is going to be a close election or we're going to wait 3 or 4 days to see, but we'll see. I have to just basically tune back in here, but I want to come on and talk to you here that if Kamala Harris loses to Donald Trump, it was because of the black male vote. Okay, black men stayed home. Okay, black men like myself who were inundated with all of these pamphlets. Vote for Donald Trump. Vote for Kamala Harris. And we can't forget about the independent people such as Jill Stein, who talks there about reparations and that she will support reparations. Also, don't forget, remember, they were trying to take Jill Stein off the ballots in certain states. Cornel West said they tried to take him off the ballots in certain states as well. The Democrats was really nervous that a lot of black people were going to vote for those two independent candidates right there. And this Alan Littman was like, no, these other two candidates, they're not no factor. They is when you basically have other black people staying home. Okay, so like I said, if Kamala Harris win, like CNN said, it has to be a miracle. Something had to happen. Whether they cheat in Bucks County, whether somebody cheated in Michigan or something like that, I think Trump got this. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and project that he is the next president. Okay, like I said, I could be wrong. All right, you've been listening to Lawyer Henderson live on election night. Just wanted to come on in and give you my 2 cents. I should be back on tomorrow if there's a winner. Thanks for listening.